Well, guys, it's about 10 o'clock at night, and I'm starting my road trip. I don't eat this stuff, but Mighty Taco, it's a Western New York local thing, and the guys at Flying Hammer wanted 4 Super Mighties. So that's 4 tacos. I don't know a whole lot about tacos, but I do go in Mexico occasionally. But yeah, so they wanted their, that was their request from up here in New York. So it's going to be about a 12-hour ride. Headed to North Carolina to get ready to go race Turbo John's deal. So it is Tuesday night. Lady Gangster's all set up, her and the MVP, and time for Dad to go racing and see what he could pull off. Rumor has it there's gonna be some bad dudes here at Knoxville. Unfortunately, it's a big buy-in race. I don't like big buy-in races, but they are paying back at least 4 spots, so it makes it a little bit more justifiable, and we'll just see what we have to pull off here. It's going to be it's $20,000 to win. I think it's $5,000 for second, then maybe $1,000 for third and fourth. So we'll see what we could do. I believe White Marlin is coming with me. You guys haven't met him yet, but he's a pretty smart fella as well. He's been around the racing industry for quite a while. And then I believe Jeremy Blankenship out of South Carolina is going to come up, meet me in Knoxville to help me out and do some little tasks there, since Lady Gangster isn't able to make it this race. So it's going to be a couple months before she's traveling with me, and we're going to try to hit up I'm going to try to hit up 1 or 2 races a month, depending on how it makes sense. So that all factors into cost to go out there. If I'm able to find a quick job out in that direction, a quick little deal to help someone out or whatever, and then also if it's guaranteed money, pot size, buy-in size, all the logistics of that, it just got to make sense. But I mean, if it's a race where the promoter's putting $5,000 on top of buy-in fees, well, then it makes a whole lot more sense to attend that race, just for the logistics aspect of it. But that's just how it goes. You got to play the game, especially now being up here in New York, 12 hours away from a lot of the racing going on. So it's not cheap to head out there, but luckily I'm in the little Honda Accord that's got 250,000 miles on it, and it's treated us pretty well. But I'm going to try to find a little wagon for us, either like a Honda Accord wagon or a Toyota Camry wagon or old Volvo wagon, something like that, that is still low enough to fit in the stacker, but has a little extra room for hauling parts around, and MVP's stroller and stuff like that. So when we're out racing, we can still ditch the toter home and stacker and go do some fun stuff in the local areas. So here starts this trip. Got about 8 states to cross. We'll see how it goes. So guys, before I get too far into this video, I want to say thank you to everyone that likes and subscribes to the channel. This video does not have a lot of racing in it, but it does still have a lot of good information for you guys, and just talks about a little bit of the journey and everything like that. So we go through and we get the car prepped up and everything for racing Turbo John's race, and we should have the Turbo John's race coming out probably Monday or something like that. Get that video out for you guys. So guys, toter home and stacker are for sale, and I'm possibly looking for like a 40-foot diesel pusher motorhome that is all metal construction. So I'll post a picture of one that I kind of had to pass up on because I just didn't have the money together at the time. But if another deal like that does come by, I'd like to jump on it. So we need something with a tag axle, metal construction, and ideally the Detroit 60 motor that's like in our toter home, because they get good fuel mileage and have plenty of power. So the motorhome will give us enough room for MVP and stuff like that for her, all the baby stuff that needs to come with us, and enough room for a crew member. So guys, we're looking for a media person to come travel with us. It would probably start off as like a 2 or 3 month trial, maybe come in for a week and then do like a 1 month trial, and see what you can do and add for the social media stuff here. I keep my hands very, very busy. I can't do it all. And Lady Gangster's busy taking care of MVP and the other stuff that she takes care of. So we're looking for a media person that has experience doing the video and editing mostly. We can do a fair amount of the video ourselves, but we really need to have someone that can help us with the editing so we can get out the videos for the followers and stuff like that. So guys, if you know of someone that's interested, ideally someone that's fresh out of high school or possibly graduating this year, or young college kid, ideally a single person with not a whole bunch of ties, because we do travel quite a bit, and we do plan on traveling all along the East Coast and Texas and some other stuff this coming year. So guys, if you keep an eye out for someone like that, we'd greatly appreciate it. So here's a picture of the motorhome that I had to pass up on. It did sell to someone in Nashville. So if you have that thing and you want to sell it, I'm your guy. So guys, appreciate it. Here's the video. I've made many trips getting off at that exit right there, going to visit my friends at Lutz Race Cars. Spent a lot of time down there. I spent many times making that trip, going to visit my friends at Lutz Race Cars. Jeff Lutz Jr., Alex, Chris, all of them, Ben, all those guys down there. It was a pleasure. I had a lot of fun down there, and I was actually building the Dirty 30 alongside the original, not the original 57, the yellow 57 that they lost on the Street Outlaws TV show there. And we actually lost those cars. We built them side by side, and we lost them almost exactly a year apart. Just kind of weird and ironic there, but yeah, I had a lot of fun with those guys. And man, I don't know. Sometimes I do miss the traveling with them and stuff like that. But when you're doing this stuff, there's always that decision to make, and it's a very difficult decision. And it's that decision where you got to choose: do I want to try to go out and do my own thing, or continue doing what I was doing? And don't get me wrong, it wasn't. That's not the only opportunity I'm talking about. I'm talking about that just because we're Evans City exit here in Zilly, depending on what one you got off of. But there was a lot of opportunities like that I had, where you have to make the decision: do I give up on doing what I'm doing to go help someone else out? And not that it was an obligation or anything like that to help out other people. It's that if you do make that commitment, the person that I am, if I make that commitment to this person or that person to go crew with them for the year or go help out their program, that means I got to put my program on the back burner. And I had that opportunity, and I had a lot of good opportunities, I should say, where a lot of people would have jumped at that chance. And I'm grateful for those opportunities, but I still believe in what we can accomplish ourselves, and with the help of some companies, and with the help of a good couple, one or two extra sets of hands besides just me and Lady Gangster. It makes it difficult just two people running an operation like this on the budget that we run it on. But with enough dedication and focus, you can pull it off, and we've shown that to a certain point where we've been competitive against some good quality teams that have 4 or 5 people over several days a week, or they go to the track with a group of 5-6 people, right? And it's hard to be competitive against teams like that, or where they're bringing 4, 5, 6 cars out to an event. That makes it extremely difficult doing this no prep stuff, where where data is so much more critical from surface to surface, unlike a prepped race where you could use data from previous tracks and stuff like that, where a tuning adjustment might be picking you up hundredths of a second. Here we're picking up tenths of a second from surface to surface, and it's a very critical way of thinking to be able to run well without all that extra information. But I enjoy that aspect of it, and that's part of staying true to who we are and what we want to represent, and what we want to show the young people getting into the sport, that it is possible to come into the sport and do the sport with do the sport without a whole bunch of extra outside help, because there's a whole lot more people going to the racetrack, like ourselves, where you're going with, you know, maybe just your father, just your girlfriend, or this or that, and trying to compete with people that go out there with bigger operations and this and that. And that's not a complaint or nothing like that, because we're in a sport, just like when you enter business. Racing's the same way. It's a dog eat dog world, and it's you got to bring your A game and compete with to the best of your ability. And there's not much left for second place or third place or fourth place, and we might be better than 45 other cars at the track, but if we're not better than all of them, the weekend's a loss to us, or dang close to it. And that makes it a little bit more stressful. It makes it a whole lot more rewarding, but it puts a whole lot more on the table when you have to go up there and compete against, like Turbo John's deal here. There will be cars there that they're coming with 4 or 5 cars out of the same camp where they all share data. So if they all win first round, go into second round, they have 8 hits on the surface, and I have 1, and that makes it very, very difficult. But I'm not saying we haven't put all of them on the trailer before, so just gotta take it with what it is, and gotta roll with your gut, and to further your program the best you can, where you can't take a round off. If you think you could beat someone by four cars, you better beat them by 4 cars, because the next guy might have been able to beat them by 5, and in that case, guess what? You're a car behind, and you gotta pick it up somewhere. Well, guys, it's about 580 miles into this trip so far. It's gone pretty smooth. I can't really complain about that, but I'm getting a little bit tired, and I got a long day ahead of me, so I'm gonna crawl in the back of the car and take about an hour nap, and hopefully I wake up to my alarm. No promises, but it's not the end of the world if I sleep for a couple extra hours. But the goal, 1 hour, then finish up the last leg. But pretty smooth sailing so far. Can't complain. So guys, this morning wasn't the best. I got down here to North Carolina about 9-10 o'clock in the morning, and I was supposed to have a couple meetings race pertaining this afternoon, but called them up and I said, hey, I gotta lay down for a couple hours. I just drove all night, so on and so forth. And I wake up, and I don't know if I got some type of food poisoning or what, but I threw up probably 25 times. So right now it's about probably about 11 o'clock, 11:30, and feeling better. So that's good news. And I decided to come up here and get straight gangster ready for Knoxville this weekend. So if you didn't watch the video where we raced it last, I went through and undid all the valves, the rockers, so the springs don't get worn out. Believe it or not, valve springs wear out, coil springs wear out. That stuff, they're wear items. So guys, valve springs and stuff like that, they wear out. If you leave them compressed for an extended period of time, they get weak. Depending on the profiles of the camshaft, how aggressive they are. Like a turbo cam and a naturally turbo cam is a little bit more gradual. A naturally aspirated nitrous cam, big lift, aggressive lobes on them. The valve springs wear out a little bit faster, and they take a different valve themselves. Generally a higher pounding. So also like coil springs and stuff like that on the suspension, those wear out over time as well. The smaller diameter, taller springs, they tend to wear out faster than big heavy duty springs. So like if you have coil springs on your pickup truck, your regular whatever it may be, your regular just everyday driver, those springs aren't going to wear out like these springs do. But race springs, they do start to lose their tendency on them. NASCAR and stuff like that, they spend a whole lot of time on that. But we did go through. I had the fuel lines off. I run WD-40 through all these. Squirt them in there, suck them out with a hose, and cycle ignition, so the injectors, all the pintles and stuff like that, they all get a little bit of WD-40 on them to get all the methanol out of there, because methanol is a corrosive fuel. And these Bosch 210s, if money wasn't an option, we probably wouldn't have the Bosch 210s in there, but they're a good bang for your buck injector. So I go through and I drain all the methanol out of there and just fog the motor with the WD-40. So right now, I'm gonna whip the valve covers off, and I'm gonna reset the valves. And the way I did it, we have a shaft mount system on this car, and it makes it a whole lot easier when you're gonna be putting the car away for a couple months, like we did after Racing Dig or Die, from early December all the way till middle of January here now. So we're reunited, and we're gonna see what we can do this weekend at Turbo John's Race. Now guys, this isn't the most ideal way, but as you can see, there's a gap in here. Luckily enough, these bolts are long enough. The cam on this deal doesn't have a high enough lift, so I can actually back these off. So you can see all the valve springs, they're at full height. Okay, so there's no preload on any of the springs. You can see here it's a little bit sloppy, right? I'm gonna go through here, and I'm gonna go through and just tighten it up back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and lock that sucker into place. Now, like I said, it's not the most ideal way to do it, but with the install height of your valve, you can, and depending on the height of the height of your lobe, you can back these off without having to fully undo all the adjusters. So now I won't have to adjust the valves. I just run them all back in, and then it'll be good enough to start it up, and then we'll check them again once it's warm. Now, even though this isn't ideal, there is still a proper way to go about it. See how that gap here and that gap there is the same? When you're tightening it down, you want to keep these gaps the same. You don't want to have a huge gap here and no gap here. That means you tighten down this bolt before you tighten down this bolt, and the thing's not laying down there smooth. It's not the most ideal way to go about it, but there is more quote-unquote right way to go about it. So, as you can see, the oil's a little bit milky. We're gonna take this stuff out, and I got another 10 quarts of Hot Shots oil to be tossing in here. We're gonna toss in probably 2050 here. We're probably gonna toss in some 2050 oil on this deal here, because it is it's in the 30s to 40 degree temperature. I do have an oil heater on here, so we might toss the straight 50 or 60 weight in here, but it just depends on what I decide to go with. We can run 2050, 50 or 60 weight. So 2050, for those of you that don't know, 2050 means it's a 20 weight oil when it's cold, and 50 weight when it's warm. That's how it acts. Straight 50 weight, if it's 20 degrees out, it's 50 weight out. If it's 100 degrees out, it's 50 weight. That's just how it works. And when I say out, I mean oil temperature, not atmospheric temperature. So guys, these are all supposed to be torqued, but since I don't have a 3/8 torque wrench, you just got to go, you know, kind of like click, 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 click. Good to go. Well, guys, it's about 8 o'clock in the morning, and ARC 3 is gonna be the first place to stop today. I'm coming here to pick up a CO2 bottle so we can refill CO2 while we're at the racetrack and stuff like that. So usually they deliver to Flying Hammer, but just didn't have time for that one. Nitrous, guys, I got bad news for you. I was just informed that in the middle of February, nitrous is going up 50%. So get your mother bottles filled. And it looks like we need a wagon. We got our fresh pair of CO7s in there, and a new mother bottle for CO2. So headed back to Flying Hammer here, knock out an oil change on Straight Gangster, and I think we're gonna head to Wilkesboro for a couple test hits before Turbo John's race coming up here tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock. 24 hours from today, racing for 20 grand. See what happens.